set of balls, you know that? Give us a second, will you? I never, ever want to work with you again as long as I... Holy shit! Calm down.
Hey man, it's been awesome kind of hanging out, spending the day with you today.
I mean, I'm kind of enjoying myself. Still, a little bitter.
What? Are you still upset about me burying you the other day?
Look, I'm happy that we got to cover Batman Returns, but you did throw my shovel at me.
Well, you said to leave it.
Yeah, but it was my shovel, and there was dirt all over the living room for days.
You could have come in through the garage.
That wasn't a thought process at the moment. All right, so yeah, still a little. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you made the drive up. I'm glad we're spending Christmas together. But there could have been better ways for us to achieve this.
Let's just agree to disagree. But
agreeing is when two parties come together to formulate an agreement.
Well, next time don't shit on Die Hard 2.
Well,
But
next time don't pick Die Hard 2. We already did it.
It
So now we
was
don't have to worry
it was
about ever
a
doing it ever
given.
again.
It was a given thing we had to do. It was the second year for Die Hard. It's the whole reason we did sequels.
Die Hard again. So now what are we supposed to do?
There's still a vengeance, so stop it. But I thought Pete was supposed to be here.
I don't know, dude. I think Southwest screwed him in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
dude,
going on with Southwest?
No one knows. Not even Southwest knows.
Let's turn on the news real quick. Let's see if something's being said about it. I mean, for Pete not to be here, it has to be a pretty big deal.
I mean, I don't think he's making it.
This morning, one of the worst airline meltdowns in U.S. history.
It's been catastrophic. It's been a failure at every level at Southwest.
More than 3,900 flights were canceled in the U.S. yesterday, but just one airline, Southwest, accounted for more than 70% of those cancellations.
Holy shit. There's no way Pete's going to make it here.
He is stuck in Colorado. We're who knows? We may never see Pete again.
He's going to be a Colorado. That's what he gets for taking freaking skiing on Christmas. Who does that?
He eat pizza when he should have French fried.
Speaking of pizza, did you order pizza already? I didn't even tell you what I wanted.
No. I mean, we haven't even started the movie yet, so I was I wanted to wait until then.
That's what I thought. We were why aren't you going to answer? It's your house.
No, you know what happened last time. I got attacked with a shovel.
Fair enough.
I'll
do it.
So why on earth would I want to answer my own door? I haven't even left the house since the incident.
Okay, look, I'll answer it. We'll see what's going on. Maybe it's a solicitor. I thought you had that Dark Lord sign on your door still.
It really doesn't work. No matter how many people you threaten to sacrifice to the Dark Lord, they just don't care and want to still try to sell you vacuums or knives, you name it.
Fair enough. Okay, solicitors are a pain in the ass. All right, let me go see what's going on.
Whoa! Did you miss me, bitches?
Hello there, and welcome back to Give Me Back My Horror Movies. I am your host, Talon, and with me is Charlie. Say hello, Charlie.
I think it's better that it's towel on and not towel off. That's all I'm going to say. Or wasn't there something about a towel on the floor? I can't remember. Way back.
There is a towel-y.
Towel-y. I was remembering the On Bach episode where we kept talking about the communal towel on the floor.
Oh, yes, this is very true. And with Charlie and other towels is Pete.
Whew, holy shit. I'm here, guys. Wow.
I did not expect this to happen. This has been a roller coaster.
What people don't understand is there were days of not knowing if Pete was even going to make it back to Ohio.
Quite frankly, if we hadn't found a rental car, I'm pretty sure we'd still be in the Denver airport waiting something. I don't know. It's awful. I don't know if you said anything.
No, not yet. So,
okay.
What you have is Pete was, if you've watched the news recently, you will know that Southwest Airlines kind of had they might have screwed up a bit, and Pete got caught into the whirlwind.
Dumpster fire doesn't come close to what's going on with Southwest right now. And God bless the people working the front lines. They're doing their damnedest. This is all really, really bad corporate management. The store may have kicked this off, but it's complete incompetence and management and above. That is why this is such a dumpster fire that I can't even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
Today, I did get to see a picture of like where all the luggage is in Denver, and there's a lot of luggage just piled up. And I went, somewhere in there's Pete's. I don't know where, but it's
should
there.
Be in Columbus eventually, maybe someday.
Maybe. I mean, if not, Southwest stole everything to sell in the black market.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get any money out of my underwear, that's for sure. Most of it's dirty at that point, for sure.
I don't know.
Oh,
name's
even
in the
better.
back of it.
That means
that's
the
true.
dark web, the sense.
Maybe that'll
been
be our
ruined.
first Patreon level is get Pete stinky old underwear.
That was actually their whole scheme the whole time. Like the upper management at Southwest wanted to steal a bunch of underwear, and the most elaborate theft ever made.
Well,
Yeah,
it is as it's worse than what people are describing it. It's awful, just awful.
So how many flights were canceled total for you?
3 flights were canceled before we went. Screw this. We're going to find a car. And thank God we did. It was just.
Let the audience know how long you were in that car.
18 and a half hours from
Straight.
Denver International to Columbus, Ohio. My wife and I tag teamed it the whole way. And yeah, she drove 4, I drove 4, she drove 4, and then I drove 8 because I didn't want to wake her up that last stretch.
Right.
And then it gets better. Charlie and I are hanging out.
Yep.
You know, Charlie was in Ohio. We're hanging out.
We had this planned for months.
Yeah.
Months
And
we had this planned.
Pete is texting us like, I might be able to make it. And we're like, oh my God, a Pete Christmas miracle may happen. And then it's just like, yeah, I might get there by 4:30. And we're like, holy shit, could this actually like occur? And by God, you made it.
I made it.
You did.
You
Busted
made it.
down the door. Everything.
You brought beers. We had pizza. We had snacks. You brought some terrible snacks, sir. You're like, I'll bring whatever these like weird Japanese snacks are. They were not good whatsoever. Those instantly went to the dumpster as soon as you left.
It's a crapshoot, especially if you can't read what it says.
No, it's not a crapshoot if you just get Doritos.
I like to live life on the edge.
I don't. I'm a very black and white person.
The shrimp chips should not have been looking back at us. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they were blinking, and that was super weird.
You ought to see some of the weird shit I've got back here, boys. I brought you the easy stuff.
Oh, man.
But damn it, you made it. And we were able to watch Puppet Master 2, all three of us, for the first time ever after recording for a year together. We're all in the same room together. I have been the middleman. I have hung out with Charlie separately, and I have hung out with Pete separately in this time frame. But never have all three of us combined forces.
That's right.
The unholy trinity came together.
Not even Southwest Airlines can keep us apart.
Not even. And then the best part was after the movie was over, you're like, I have to go home. We watched Pete completely just shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Done for.
it was quite a sight to behold, but yeah, it was a blast though, man. It really was. Like, I've had some people like we've shared a few things, and they're like, "You guys haven't met in like a year of recording." I'm like, "Well, Nate and I have met. We've known each other for years." I was like, "But yes, every time we've all three tried to get together in this year, something has happened."
It just hasn't
Pete got
worked out.
sick last Christmas. Then I came up to in the summer. We had a whole big plan. I caught COVID for the very first time. So I was down, and then we're getting closer to this date, and Nate gets the flu. So we're like, oh shit, you better get over it. Drink OJ. Get right to the point. And Pete's like, yeah, I'll be back from Colorado. No problem. We're just going to go skiing, have some fun.
It's supposed to be back on Christmas Day.
Yeah. And then it was just like 3 days of, I don't know what's going to happen.
We had
There was one. I was like, I caught a red eye. Like, I'll be able to make it. A red eye, and we'll be there.
And there's so many ups and downs.
That flight got canceled too.
All right, we're here, man. We're
able
here.
to do this. We can finally cover Puppet Master 2 together.
Yes.
Our original plan was to record it directly after watching the movie. We even debated on like hitting play and recording while watching the movie while we were all there. But with Pete being brain dead, it just felt like we probably shouldn't do that.
Yep. So now we're all back in our comfy little studios and we're recording, but it'll be fine. We all got to watch it together. We
all got
experienced
to
it.
experience it together.
We made
And
the
my
jokes.
God,
We giggled.
to go from Child's Play to that tiny doll killer to these multiple tiny doll killers on a much, much smaller budget, and how well this movie does of taking what the original did with that charm and
Yes.
upping it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's get everybody else in the mood now that we brought them all down with the delays and everything of the Southwest debacle. Let's hit this trailer real quick.
The puppets of Andre Toulon. First, they made you smile. And then they made you die. Blade, Pinhead, Jester, Leech Woman, and Tunneler. Now the show has begun again. And this time, their master is back from beyond the grave.
You brought me back.
And Andre Toulon is proud to present the newest addition to his terrifying troupe.
You may think you got the powers of hell on your side.
Torch. They thought they could unlock Toulon's secrets.
It's amazing.
But what these researchers have opened,
No one can escape.
We're all in danger as long as we remain in this house.
is a Pandora's box of death.
Our work must be completed tonight. No more ghostly games, trick or treat.
Puppet Master 2. His unholy creations hold the strings to your life.
I know how to get into things.
Ah, yes, I forgot my name was actually Toulon and not Talon. Oh, how serious. Ah, what how funny.
Talon.
Well, you know, the resurrection juices, they don't, help all the brain juices, if you catch my flow. They help
Even though-
juices in other areas. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
Even though the juices come from the brain juices to make the juices for the brain juice?
It was a damn cow.
It was. It was. Although all I can say, man, is finally hashtag we found Torch. We
Yes.
finally found Torch.
And my God, is Torch awesome.
Which is
Still-
pretty awesome. He's got
still my
bullets for
favorite.
teeth, guys. Oh,
he
my
does. Still my favorite one, man. I love
So-
Torch.
I feel like if you have not listened to our first Puppet Master episode, Pete wasn't on that one, but Charlie and I were very confused as we were watching the movie going, we know we've
Completely.
seen this, but like, this doesn't feel familiar. And I was like, where's the cowboy at? It turns out we kind of mixed up
God. Yeah.
5
Well,
movies into
At
one.
least 5.
These were all released straight to video, weren't they? I mean, like the entire franchise.
Yeah.
And like, these things got pumped out year after year. So like, super easy to blend them all together. And like, this isn't like Friday the 13th where like the same thing was happening, but you had different actors playing Jason or something like that in different, not settings, but like not Kevin Bacon kind of thing. So it was a lot harder to like remember, like, wait, which one's which? So when we found out Torch was actually in part 2, it was like, well, now we got to watch part 2, but we need to find the right time
Mhm.
for that to happen. And what better time than when all of us were going to be together?
That's right.
Oh, it made sense, man. We
Complete
had
sense.
So we had planned on doing this one, and then we knew we were doing Die Hard 2, and that's what kind of turned into this like length of sequels we're doing. I can't say month of sequels because
a
it's
long
spanning
string
2
of sequels
months.
to end
Long
our
string.
second year as a podcast.
But that's kind of why this happened, because it was like, let's just pick a sequel. So we're doing Child's Play 2, and then it's also why we just covered Bad Boys 2. It was like, let's just pick awesome sequels and go. And so, yeah, Puppet Master 2. And I'm going to say like what I said in Child's Play, and I'm going to say it now. I like this one so much better. I think this is my favorite Puppet Master.
As far
Same.
as sequels, you guys pick bangers. I mean, there's I
And
don't
how
think you picked a
rare is
bad,
that?
right?
Yeah,
and that's where I
like,
was going. Like,
Everyone always talks about like,
sequels-
the sequel is never as good as the first one.
and case in point, we found some that are at least equal to, if not better than the original.
Almost
agree with
every
the equal
single one
to.
that we've done. Yeah, I wouldn't say better, but at least equal to or better that we've done.
You do realize you shit on Die Hard 2 though.
All right, I forgot we did Die Hard 2 because I've already put it. I've already taken it out of my brain. So Die Hard 2 is not even equal to Die Hard 1 because that
Not
means
any
Die Hard
stretch,
1
no.
would be a 5.
But we got
That's
to
not
see
fair.
Batman.
We
That
did
was
get
a
to see
good one.
Batman.
That's
So we got Batman. I mean, we've done some remakes that, I mean, they're not sequels, but they're redos that were far superior than the originals, because we've done The Blob, The Fly, The Thing. I mean,
we did the 3 heavy hitters of remakes.
We did,
Yes.
but I mean, this honestly to me has now got me questioning, am I really shitting on sequels this bad? Because we have yet to find a real bad one. Like the next ones for action are like the obvious, like Terminator 2, which far exceeds the first one. Lethal Weapon 2, I think is almost as good, if not a tiny bit better than the first
I think
Lethal
it
Weapon.
is just a little bit better than that first one.
Beverly Hills Cop 2, a lot more comedy. Brigitte Nielsen, I mean, it may be, it may be equal.
Herself.
So
yeah, but he's not getting arrested for getting thrown out of a window in part 2.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, and then
be
you've
one
got
of my favorite moments ever in a comedy movie.
You got things like Jaws 2.
Why you gotta be shitting on Jaws 2?
Why are you bringing
Conan
up
the
Jaws 2
Destroyer?
when you already know we are pro Jaws 4 on this podcast. All
we are
three of us.
completely
We
pro
are
Jaws
very
4.
pro Jaws the Revenge.
Jaws 4, oh God.
As far as movies that cover revenge storylines, it's the best one.
That's right. And if you really want to hear more about Jaws the Revenge, go check out Spoils of Horror.
Spoils of Horror, yeah.
Too.
They beat us to it, those sons of bitches.
I think it's fair because we beat them to several.
Yeah,
movies
but that
on
one
our
really
list.
stings for some reason.
I was just talking to Steven last night about that. He's like, man, some of you guys, every once in a while, you'll come up with it. You'll drop an episode like, damn it, I almost released one.
There, I hit him with the we're going to space. Yeah, well, we just came back from space. So I posted a thing on Instagram. That picture of the two people passing each other in the cars. So I was like, Spoils of Horror going to space in their picture, and then give me back my action horror movies coming back from space with our picture. We have good times. But yeah, definitely need to go check those guys out.
I tried pitching a Puppet Master in space on Instagram, but you know what? Full Moon, they just ignored me.
Yeah, Full Moon's not into going
There
to
are
space.
12 Puppet Masters. How on earth can they not have one in space?
I'm telling you, I even photoshopped Blade next to an astronaut. Like, when you see the picture, if you go to the Instagram and dig it up, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I can totally see this working.
It's somewhere around the time we had Roadhouse in space. So it's right there.
That would work too.
But yeah,
man,
they've gone back down. Space Roadhouse. They've
Space
gone
Double
back
Deuce.
in time. The triple D's.
That's Total Recall.
Hard cut right here. I love it.
All right, so the puppets don't go in space. We've already covered that. But instead, we get the mansion from the first one, which is clearly a painting, or so we thought until Pete dropped some knowledge on us.
I did.
Yes.
I did. Oh my gosh. It was the best thing ever. It's on stupid IMDb. Are we going to talk about it now?
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to talk about it.
It's so good. So they
We
made
set you right up.
right. So they made the hotel was a miniature, and it was about the size of a refrigerator according to IMDb. And I guess what they did was they found the perfect set, or the perfect backdrop, and they kind of hung the house just so, and used forced perspective to make it look quote like it was sitting on top of that hill overlooking the ocean, when it's a house on a string. When have we've had bats on a string, we've had Godzillas on a string. Never before have I seen a house on a string, and we got that.
That's not normally how they do that.
Not
Like
really.
I know, like the old, like the like Conan movies and stuff, like when you see like the temples or something in the mountains, that it's a cutout, like a matte painting cutout that's on rods, and they align the camera so that it looks like it's cut into the mountain.
Right.
Not hanging.
Not just kind of hanging there.
Slight but
Not
like gust
driving
of wind.
around and going, oh, that's a really cool view. Hurry up, get the house.
Go get the house.
And
in my head, it was like two guys with a table just like carrying it and then moving left or right.
I would have been better.
Yeah.
But as we're watching this on, big TV, high def, you realize that I'm pretty sure the film got dirty from the first movie and they reused it, and there's spots all over the film.
It looks like someone accidentally spilt coffee all on the right side of the lens.
Coffee
grounds. Way to put it. Yes.
Coffee grounds.
And all I could think of is Charles Band, like back in 1990, going, well, they'll never tell the difference 30 years from now.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yes,
and then, like, I feel like circa era 2010 or whatever, when HD started to become more and more readily available, he was probably like in his director's chair throwing his hat, like, damn it.
He's sitting there counting the cash. It's all right. I already got paid.
There's something to be said about watching things on VHS and not ever watching them in Blu-ray, because you can see everything and all the terrible misses and the strings and all the colors that don't quite match up. If you get something, I was talking to a buddy of mine at G Fest a couple years ago, and he's like, yeah, I've got everything. I've got all the Godzilla movies on Blu-ray. And you know what? I usually go back to the DVDs at best, because you can kind of see everything, and there's something to be said about that. But I did go back and watch Puppet Master 1 today just for giggles.
Oh, nice.
And the opening scene of Puppet Master 2 with the hotel overlooking the sea was cut straight. It was stock footage from the first one.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think something got on the film when they reused it and cut it in, because they're like, yeah, we're not going to refilm that. Like, I'm sure the model's been destroyed or whatever. I mean, if it was as big as a fridge, you got to store that somewhere.
Yeah, they probably just did not.
And I haven't seen any of the other Puppet Masters, so I'm curious if they ever reused this shot.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Here's what I was thinking. Next get together, Puppet Master 3.
Sure. I'm down. I'm always down for more Puppet Master.
I just feel like this should be a tradition of ours. Like, if we're together, a Puppet Master movie will happen, and then we got to hang out at least 11 more times.
11 more times.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So
if they don't add any more to us, but you know what? That just means it's just going to keep going, and we're going to be friends
if they
forever.
keep making it, that means we can still be friends. The moment we run out of Puppet Master movies, you guys are
we're
dead
done.
to me.
Done with you sons of bitches.
I want nothing to do with you guys.
Well, if they keep making Puppet Master, then we're going to get closer and closer to Puppets in Space.
Please.
I'm gonna keep pitching it. I'm gonna
Charles
I'm gonna
Band.
work my
We know you're
magic.
out there.
I'm gonna go to Horror Hound Weekend, and Full Moon Features usually has a booth there, and I'm gonna roll up. I'm gonna be in a white suit with a briefcase, and I'm gonna slam it on the table, and inside of it is gonna be Blade.
Just the picture. No, just your picture from Instagram. Print it out.
All right, so I'm not gonna bring the toys, and I'm not gonna bring an astronaut toy. I'm gonna be like, and make them slam into each other. Be like, all right, here's the movie.
I don't know. I kind of like that now too. Damn it. Take a space helmet and just put it on Blade.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you change. It's just a space helmet on Blade.
He would need a helmet to breathe in space.
I think he does. He's a heavy breather in these movies. He really is. Oh, man.
I got to say, like, the first movie, the puppets probably have a total on-screen time of probably 10 minutes, if that.
At best.
It wasn't much. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a slow burn. It's still a lot of fun, but this one does what your sequel is supposed to do of like, all right, we know what we could do with the first one. And Pete, I think you said it best of like, they found a way to do like every type of puppet trick that you could for this movie.
You're gonna have to remind me what I said because
Oh yeah,
it's all a fog.
You had
But
like marionettes, you had stop motion, you had forced perspectives. Like
there was an interesting.
They used every trick in the book.
I think some of them were even slightly animatronic, like early versions of animatronic.
Yes, they were. They had some mechanical parts to them. They moved kind of like the primitive Chucky did. But there was also an interesting tidbit that Pinhead, at times, you could see that it was actual hands, like a real person hands.
He's always had human hands.
Yeah, they had a little person behind the puppet ducking down and was wearing the Pinhead costume, gloves and sleeves, picking up items. It was so when I read that, I was like, oh, that is so good.
I don't know if it's the same one from the first one, but I had watched like the making of, and she was a little person, and she like and it was a lot of the up close, like from behind, from distance shots of Pinhead. It was the marionette, fixed hands or fists. But anytime he was like, especially when he was choking somebody or throwing bodies, that was her. Yeah.
There was only one spot
hands.
in the second one on my second watching. You could kind of see where there was a black drape behind Pinhead.
The cloth behind him. Yeah.
Oh, you need to crop that off just a little bit better there, Charles.
Yeah. No hate, Charles. Also, fun fact before we get too far, was the day we watched this was also Charles Span's birthday. We found out. Like we saw that on Instagram. Like we didn't plan any of this.
The universe really came together for this viewing.
Well, this is awesome. So I was like, we celebrated his birthday.
And like another thing that we had noticed with this one compared to the first one, they get a little more dirty with the puppets themselves. Like you get to see these things get thrown around a lot more. It's like they had more confidence in their builds and being able to like chuck them. Like in this one too, we get to see two different puppets actually eat it.
Oh yeah, Leech woman was burned. She doesn't come back at all in the latter.
So from what I know, this is the last viewing of her, and I don't know why they didn't even do her leech power in this.
Yeah, like she has a knife
to do. That's
I mean,
that was not easy to squeeze.
It was
leech out of her mouth.
Reverse,
right?
I think is what it was from the first one. But yeah, she does. Like we're watching this movie, going, is that Leech Woman? Like we were all questioning it.
Like it was
is that even her?
And then when she gets thrown into a fire, it's like, oh well, she's gone.
Yeah,
like,
she gone.
It.
And Tunneler gets stomped to death. Like,
which is weird because I would not expect them to die from stomping.
Well, I think what they were pushing, so that was their way of foreshadowing the end without telegraphing it a lot, was the reason Tunneler quit working was the fluid leaked out of him. So this regenerative fluid that we see, like, so they dig up Toulon in this movie, the grave of
right
Toulon.
At the beginning, the puppets do. They're like, we want our master back. Last guy sucked.
Yeah, the first movie we see that he kills himself before the Nazis can get a hold of him and force him to tell them how he does what he does with the puppets. So the first movie, that's all we ever get of it, and we get some other dude that wants to take over. And, magicians, which is still stupid as all get out. I hate the magicians in the first movie. I like this group of people more, even though we were laughing at them.
That South Park episode where it's all the psychics going like that was in my head the whole time when we were watching the first movie. Like, oh, that like they're all gonna get killed by these puppets. And this one,
Cartman gets Christopher Walken's powers from that freaking movie where he can foresee the dead zone powers.
And this one, it's like instead of doing magicians, we are going to get government issued paranormal investigators before that budget cut hit.
Right. Well, yeah.
This is pre X-Files, isn't it?
It really is. This is pre X-Files. But I like that angle that they did.
I think it's a great, like, you know what, if you're going to go with the sequel, yes, this is how you do it.
So, but what we're told throughout this movie is there's a chemical. That's the magic behind everything. I guess there is like some type of mystical part to it too, because of the Egyptian stuff to it, but I don't
magic.
I don't think
we'll just say it's magic to it all.
There's a type of magic because they do a flashback, which I thoroughly enjoy in this movie, where it kind of explains how Toulon got the puppet, how he learned this trick, and it was from someone in Egypt, and that guy's showing some like psychic powers, because he causes the whole little marionette thing to burst into flames, which is we get the foreshadowing of Blade's head that doesn't burn.
Yes.
He plays a
puppet
devil.
Was really awesome looking.
He was a devil character from Faust. Yes. Which definitely not a banger for the kids. You could tell the kids were not into Faust.
They were digging at it.
They were kind of not bored. They were just not enjoying themselves.
They were totally tuned out, man. I think I saw one of them check their text messages.
Right.
It's just
where's
anything
my
but
Punch and
watching
Judy?
it.
I don't want this crap.
Oh man. But so there's a little bit of mysticism in it, but what they do with the death of Drill Tunneler is once the liquid's expelled from the bodies, they're just puppets now. They're just, things.
Now, one of the things that I really liked about this movie is because Toulon is only in the first one for like 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Having Steve Wells play him, and that dude's like in nothing else.
No.
But I thought he was fantastic in this.
I love him.
He's creepy. He's got charisma.
He's got that voice.
And I had mentioned that like
stupid
his
accent.
acting feels like what Seth MacFarlane was doing in Hellboy 2 with Klaus.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Klaus.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I dig it. Also, like even when I was listening to the trailer and I was downloading it, he sounds so much like Simon Gruber, who was Hans Gruber's brother in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh,
that's played by Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
He has that like tenor to his voice and the way he's doing that accent. I was just like, waiting for him to yell out McLean or something like that as the movie went. But
I'll get you, McLean. Like something of just creepy German, accent. But like his attire, his aesthetics.
Oh, it's awesome. And I love how they introduce him in this movie because we watch them resurrect something out of the grave. So this arm raises up. Then we see these gloved hands working on the puppets, but that's all we ever see. These people are in this hotel. It's a house/hotel is what this is. And the movie's probably going on for I don't know, 15 minutes or so. And then all of a sudden, this dude shows up with like the Invisible Man bandages around his face. He's got dark goggles, a hat. The gloves are really our only clue of, that's who's upstairs.
Yeah.
That's who they resurrected. So even as an audience for the first time watching this movie, you're like, oh shit, who's this dude? And it's Toulon, as they go. So I love his introduction into here.
Yeah, he really came out of nowhere.
He did.
He scared everybody. Like, who's this? And then I thought it was a little unrealistic where the investigators were pretty cool with him just being there the whole time.
Oh, like the entire time they're like, all right, we're investigating. We got the camera set up, but it's no big deal.
It's
I guess
supposed to be an abandoned hotel or something, and
he's claiming to be the owner.
I think that's where it was because he claimed ownership.
Yeah.
They didn't really have like all of the paperwork in front of them. She had to go back in town to look. So honestly, think about it. I mean, it's the government. They're not everything's always exactly right. That you get sent to this house and then like, oh shit, no one checked to see if someone was living here. So I'm thinking that's kind of what they're running through their head going, maybe we're wrong. The key didn't work. They had to break in technically. Like they had a key. It wouldn't work. So the dude picked the lock. So a lot of reasons even I would be like, maybe this dude should be here. I don't know.
And they also they just throw in like a sentence or two to throw back to the first movie of the investigators acknowledging that like there was one survivor from the previous movie, but then he lost his mind is basically, and that's why they are there now to see what happened.
So they lay it out really well. That
it's
there's
really,
a
like
reason.
it's simple, it's quick, it's easy, but it works. It's like, oh, that's why we don't have. I think it was Alex from the first movie coming back, and this is why we have a new set of characters, and this is why they also have cameras and monitors set up throughout the whole place.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're thinking Ghost Adventures pre-Ghost Adventures,
right?
Yeah,
it's the first set of folks were psychics.
Yes,
and gypsies and well, that's probably an
Yeah.
insensitive word to use, but yeah, psychics.
Well, I mean, for what the time of the movie was, I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
what it was. I do like, though, we do get at least one psychic in this. Like, I do like the woman that gets brought in that has a connection, and even the girl that runs the paranormal thing is like, look, she's legit. She's actually been correct on a lot of things. She's eccentric, obviously, but I actually enjoyed her character in here. It added a little bit more of someone sensing something's going wrong, instead of, because the researchers are there to not always prove, but mostly debunk. Sometimes it's like, okay,
Right.
there's nothing here, so there's nothing going on.
And they even mentioned that because the one guy is like measuring the bookshelf, and he's like, "Oh, it's a bigger bookshelf, which means more areas actually hide a person to you know make a commotion." Basically, is what he was alluding to.
Which is what a good ghost hunter will do. They're going to check the
Yes.
pipes. They're going to check the electricity.
They're not going to
see
just instantly believe, "Yep, this
Right.
place is haunted. Now let's go and prove why it's haunted." Like,
Funny story. I had an uncle who sold a house, and the next couple that moved in after them swore the house was haunted and sold the house because they were afraid of it. This is a true story. Because at night or in the morning, they would come downstairs, and some of the kitchen doors, like the cupboard doors, would be open. And they were like, there's a poltergeist in here. And they sold the house because they thought it was haunted. So we heard about that. We asked Uncle Jim, say, what's this all about? He's like, oh, the train goes by at about 2:30 in the morning every other day. When that train goes by, those cabinet doors will open because of the little bit of shaking that the house does.
Yep.
We always put strings on those cabinet doors because of that.
Yeah.
so instead of that train being logical, ghost.
It's exactly. They were
or a nice simple
hilarious.
fix of self-closing hinges, guys. I mean, we can solve
right.
so many things. As a cabinet
Gotta be
builder
ghost.
and installer, like, I could really freak some people out in their kitchens. Like, a lot of microwaves or over the stove vents, vent out. If you don't seal it up or hold 100%, that air fills, like pushes out the doors above it. So it's like, oh, it's a ghost, but only when I heat up my macaroni and cheese.
If you're heating up your macaroni and cheese in the microwave, you're a bastard, man.
They make it. It's Easy Mac. That's why it's called Easy.
So you're saying there are such things as hinges that keep doors closed?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever installed them backwards just for fun?
No, I don't think
they
work
stay
that
open
way.
all that time.
That would be hilarious. I don't think there's much of a market for that, though, Pete. So,
well, that's why you have a side business of a paranormal investigator.
Oh, yeah. So Charlie builds everything incorrectly on purpose. Then that way later on, they're like, we got ghosts. And he's like, a la the Frighteners, where he's like, well, I know a guy, and it's him.
Damn. And I wear a mustache. That's the only difference. A mustache and a hat.
And a monocle.
I'm the guy that comes in and fixes it. Wow, where have we gone?
Be gone, spirits. Go away.
Back to the movie, though. Like I said, I enjoy the paranormal researcher angle of this.
Well,
and the fact that they catch it. They catch
exactly the
Tunneler
fact that
on camera.
We get him on camera and no one goes, that couldn't have happened. They're all like, this did happen.
They're like, what is that?
What is this?
Like,
and whereas
shit, that really happened.
The first one where it's just people start to die and they're trying to, put the clues together and figure out what exactly is going on. With this one, it's like, holy shit, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, now what?
I definitely feel like the puppets were sneakier in the first movie.
Oh yeah, like Blade is a klutz in this one.
Blade makes it through 50 people in a busy hotel at the beginning of the first one.
Oh yeah.
This one, he's like found out immediately and like falls or causes noise, and it's like, you stupid bastard! What happened? He's getting old.
He's getting old at his age. He hasn't killed anyone in a while.
A little bit of
Oh man. But yeah, and then my favorite is watching Talon build Torch, and already have seen this movie just getting excited because Damn it, man! Torch is my favorite. I
He's so
love
good.
this freaking.
There
puppet.
is that buddy cop dynamic between Torch and Blade,
and
though.
Blade,
Like we
yes.
get that. It's just like you can feel the chemistry between these two.
That's good. I like the redneck neighbors down the road. They're the doomsayers that we usually get in those horror movies. Yeah, nothing
You're all
but
gonna
death
die.
up there. There's hellfire and brimstone. And then Torch and Blade and Leech Woman go after them, and I was like, "This is great. I love every second of this."
And then, like, the first time we get to see Torch actually use his powers, and that torch is flinging like 15 feet, you know?
Yeah,
And like it is deadly. It is powerful. Like
That's
this
legit.
movie has fantastic fire stunts.
Oh, dude,
Uh-huh.
the fire and explosion stunts are amazing in here. And, you know, Torch's eyes glow like brighter red when you know he's about to go off. It's just-
Yes.
I love it, man.
Too bad that little boy didn't realize what was going to
Oh,
happen
my
to him.
God, dude.
Mom, you killed
Indiana
a
Jones?
kid.
Yeah, little Indy bites
Little
it in this
Indy.
movie.
Oh, gosh.
And you're watching this like, you know, this kid's playing with okay.
This kid is not playing. This kid
This-
is messed up.
This
kid is a jerk.
This kid has what is it? The Big Joe? What
It
was?
it looked
Yeah,
like
he
an
had the
old
12
G.I.
G.I.
Joe or
Joe.
Big Joe, Super Joe, something like that.
There was a line that G.I. Joe came after that it was similar to that.
Yeah.
And this kid's like throwing this thing around. He's carrying a whip, and then all of a sudden, Big Jim, that's what it
Big
is.
Jim.
He takes Big Jim's shirt off, leans him up against a tree, and starts whipping the doll.
Yeah. Sadistic. All right.
Throws it in the bush, and then Torch throws the doll back at him. Comes walking out, and the kid just thinks it's another toy. These movies technically are fairly early as far as timeline goes. That's not a toy that any kid should be like, that's normal.
No.
I seen that in the Sears catalog last Christmas, and I want one. This should have made any kid run, but this kid like starts picking up Torch and like yelling at him like, I'm a director, you're gonna do what I say, and lays him down, whips him. I give him credit, but you also know the kid bit it was when Torch's eyes like lit up.
Oh, you can tell when
And
Torch
you
gets
hear-
angry.
You
Uh-huh.
hear the torch go off, and you're like, yeah, that kid dead.
And I think one of the cool things though when that kid picks him up is when you see just how big
He's
Torch is.
huge.
It's
He's
like
half the
that
size
was
of
like the
this
moment
kid,
of like, wow, these
Big.
puppets are pretty decent size.
They're probably 18 to 20 inches tall. I mean, they'd
Yep.
probably come up to your knee easily. And you kind of forget that as far as perspective sometimes. But it's quite, and it worked even better with it being the kid next to it, because it even made it that much more.
It
like,
makes it that much more
impactful.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, it's my favorite character, the way they do it. And then as the story goes, I like that it is this one particular part of the brain that they have to collect from the bodies to make this fluid, and that's what keeps them alive. I did get irritated that he kept going, for a half of century. 50 years, bro. 50
Right.
years. It ain't that impressive,
You
man.
see, half a century sounds way more impressive for my
Half a
vengeance.
century. 50. 50 years. That tells me the dolls are roughly 50 years old because the stuff's wearing down in them, and they need to make more of it from these brains.
Which adds up when you think about the 40s of when he was in South America to now we're in the late 80s.
Yeah, it actually does kind of line up pretty well right there.
Yeah. I feel like before we go any further, though, we got to have a commercial break and come back and talk about these kills.
Damn, Nate's on it.
He's a professional.
We're professionals.
We'll be back following these messages.
All right, Frank, just read from the cards.
I don't know, Stompy. This isn't what Sludge asked us to say.
Don't worry about it, little bro. Sludge hired us for this, and I know what's best.
Okay, Stompy.
Cue the music, maestro. Welcome to the Monster Movie Stomp Down with me, Stompy, and my little brother Frank.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Yes, you are. So join us, Sludge, Mark, and Ruben as we review monster movies from all around the world.
And don't forget about the monthly contest and trivia.
That's right, peasants. You'll find extra content like the Underdogs, Monster Mash Wednesdays, Friday Night Fights, each week exclusively on our Facebook and Instagram.
So please join us at the Monster Movie Countdown.
Your one-stop shop for monster movie reviews, interviews, news, contests, and of course, me, Stumpy.
And Frank.
Snowcat! Winning battles in the snow for G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe! American hero! Battling the Cobra foe!
Look! They're in the snow! Cobra troops! Get the Snowcat and get the Jaws aboard!
The G.I. Joe Snowcat holds 10 Joes, and it's got a missile rack and torpedo skis.
G.I. Joe! American hero!
Cobra's on the run! Yo, let's go!
G.I. Joe Snowcat, other Joe and Cobra figures and equipment sold separately.
Yo, Joe!
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Killboy Kreitz.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete. IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again. As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Welcome back.
You get
All
G.I.
right,
Joe,
man.
man. That's the best. G.I. Joe and Snow. It's the best I can give you right now.
You tried. You figured out what you could. I don't know what puppet, commercials there are, and I'm a little afraid to look it up after the whole Child's Play 2 debacle with that stupid doll that has no soul.
Corky terrified
Don't
me.
say his name.
Don't
If
say
you say it 2 more times, he'll come. He's like Steven Seagal. We can't say his name either.
Damn it, Nate. You're trying to curse us on the beginning of the new year. What's wrong with you?
I didn't mean to.
I really enjoy these puppet movies you watch here, Nate.
If I were to fight these puppets, I'd break all their necks.
That's right. Just a couple of little judo chops and some kicks. I'd take out these puppets, no problem. I took out Tommy Lee Jones one time with a knife. It was pretty amazing.
One time I was on a train. Puppets aren't allowed on trains because they can't buy tickets. I can because I'm Steven Seagal.
I got nothing.
Pete's like I'm sitting this bit out.
Bullet Train. I remember when I did that first in the 90s.
That's right. Only my train was just full of bullets.
And I shot from my human hand.
Oh, God. All right. Well, speaking of human hands, we got to talk about the paranormal researchers for a moment, because we all kind of had the same thought as we're watching this. You got 2 girls, 2 guys. Okay. Seems like they all kind of get funky with each other. We kind of get the vibe definitely from 2 of them.
Yes,
the other 2
sure.
we were a little unsure about. And at least 5 minutes into this entire thing, we finally find out they're brother and sister.
Yeah, which explains the tension in a weird way.
It really kind of did, but then it made it all the more funny that they kill her brother, and that's who Tunneler takes out, and then
drills his head in.
Then we get sexy dude number 2 shows up at the door. So that we can have real sexual tension going
he's like,
on
I heard
in this movie.
Previous sexy guy bit it.
She got over her brother
one more.
real quick.
Oh yeah, the morning does not last long with her.
It's because Tunneler drills into the brother's brain. We get a nice bloody effect.
Yeah,
and then we can't stop the research, so we'll just put my dead brother's body in the freezer,
in the deep freeze,
and we'll put a sheet over him.
In the hotel. And there is a town with cops and probably a morgue there, and they don't bother to do that at all.
Call the cops.
It makes the most sense to me. Like, if I die, guys, if next time we're hanging out watching Puppet Master 3 and I die, put me in the freezer.
Just put you in the
finish
freezer.
Puppet Master 3.
Yeah, you'll fit. But and then I don't know. I didn't rewatch it to just find this one part out. I never picked up that the new guy that showed up was the son of the psychic lady that disappeared in the movie.
That was not very clear.
No, it wasn't until
it
like
really wasn't.
he stumbles across his dead mom's body in the dumbwaiter, going, "Huh, mama."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. These people are not fazed by death of
No.
close ones of relatives. I mean,
Yeah, because that means they get to investigate them. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
friends
cool,
and
mom's
family,
dead.
we don't care.
Now I can find her as a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I remembered was she said something like, I had to call you. Here's what's going on. Here's my dead brother. I'm like, okay. And then she says something, but I think she uses the woman's name. She has gone missing. And it was on a phone call where they're like, well, she may be here at this hippie commune, which is another weird scene in this movie that they show the hippie commune.
I
And they're
honestly
like,
forgot
yeah,
about the hippie commune.
Yeah.
Even though we
And
just
it's-
watched this 2 days ago.
Yeah, all the people dancing outside, and they're like, well, guess she's not here. I mean, that was
Waka
that was
waka.
it. So, I mean, look, this thing isn't breaking new ground with story writing or anything, but damn it, I don't care. This movie kept me glued the entire time.
Especially when we get to Torch's first kill of lighting that woman on fire.
Yeah, the rural
and then
people
we
love.
get
Good.
Blade putting the hook into her crisp body and like yanking. Like she looked like fried chicken.
She did. It was a glorious effect.
Yeah,
like I think the majority of the budget went to like a handful of these effects. That's one of them
For sure.
And I mean, she fights off 3 puppets basically. This
held her
lady
own.
does.
Yeah, she's
I
got her
mean,
shotgun and like she's able to dispatch Leech Girl and then
I think
doesn't she throw Blade?
I think
she winged him, didn't she hit him with the shotgun?
She either hit him with the shotgun or something like the kickback knocked him backwards, because then all of a sudden we get like the big reveal of Torch, like the door opens and dude steps out like he's the biggest badass, which he is. Yeah, and he just like, and you get this like growl out of him before he like unleashes on this lady, and I'm just like, I love this little puppet. This is my favorite
It's so
puppet in the
good.
world. But yeah, I love this entire sequence of that. And then that leads into, okay, they killed the lady. Why did Blade like cut on her? That doesn't explain it till later. We get Toulon working in the lab.
He's
and
cooking.
Blade presents him this piece of flesh, and Toulon gets pissed. He's like, it's burnt to a crisp. I can't use this.
Can't use it.
And we find out it's part of the brain. They have to cut out these little pieces to make the juice. So a lot of like of the storyline gets explained as it goes.
Yeah. They did a real good job of not dumping it all in your lap all at once. They kind of just led you along like, oh, that's interesting. What is he doing? And they explained it later. And it's, it might be magical voodoo business, but it's explained, whereas like just go with this. This is gonna work.
We're watching a movie about puppets, so I don't need
that
to
are
like
alive.
suspend my disbelief on anything. So this storyline is making sense to me as it goes. So I'm invested in what's going on. And also, to be honest, I haven't watched the second one. Nate and I have talked about this for a very long time, enough that I forgot all of the like major hit points of this. It wasn't till I saw the human puppets at the end where I went, oh shit, now I remember the end of this movie.
That's hard.
But
to
I was
forget.
still and I was still there for it. Oh god, it is for the most terrifying thing in this movie.
Oh my
That
lord.
whole finale is just like creepy. Like
Yeah.
Toulon's face actually being revealed and like having
Gorgeous.
this amazing melted flesh almost.
God, I love he's decomposed.
Yeah.
So it's his
pieces of hair, like stringy.
Yes.
Looks like he smells like the worst possible thing on the planet.
So yeah, we were all talking about this as it was going, because like he bent down and you could see the skull bone where it's like shinier than the flesh decaying off of his body. It's I mean, for a special effect, it's glorious.
It really is.
And then we start to find out that Toulon had made a promise to his girlfriend, wife, or whatever from the flashback.
I think it was his wife that they'll be together forever.
Elsa, whatever her name was. And he thinks this paranormal researcher is her reincarnated somehow that's what I'm guessing that's the Egyptian part of everything.
He just saw her and thought she looked a lot like his ex-lover, so it makes sense that they should be together in puppet form. Human wax doll puppet, creepy, no blinking.
Yeah. Oh God, it's horrible. But he's like really like trying to remind her of things. Like they drop the one thing where she does get up in the morning and she's like, I have to get up by 6 o'clock, otherwise the day is wasted. They go outside and Talon is sitting out there by the cove, and he goes, yes, my beloved Elsa, she always had to get up at 6 o'clock, otherwise she felt like the day is wasted, which gave everybody pause for a moment. And then the dance, he's like, do you remember this song? So I think he really thought somewhere in her was his wife. But I loved how Pete described it when we were watching the movie, and he goes, well, pretty sure his wife's German, and I am 100% sure that the lady in this movie is Irish. So I don't know where that disconnect come from. And I'm like, Pete makes a very good point.
When your eyes are burnt to a crisp, sometimes it's hard to see that a person has red hair.
He's as colorblind as Nate is.
Yes.
It's like, she's got gray hair. What are you talking about? I don't know what that color is.
Yeah,
clearly,
it's all gray.
If two people wake up at 6 a.m., they are obviously the same person. There's really
Right.
no way two people would ever do this. It's a coincidence.
Willingly. Yeah,
Yes,
willingly. No, but I mean, some of the story is very, simple and okay, we get it. But man, I'm telling you, I'm there for it the whole way. I'm enjoying it. And we also figure out that the puppets really hate being used and being treated as puppets.
They're loyal. They are very loyal until you piss them off.
Right. This is two masters in a row that have hosed them, totally screwed these puppets over.
And this one is their creator.
Yeah.
I mean, so for those that maybe y'all haven't seen, if you're listening, you haven't seen the first one, the first guy, you kind of understand he's using the puppets by the end of it because they're a tool for him to get this power that he desires. And you understand it. You're like, yep, I get it. This one, when the flip comes that Talon really only cares about his life and Elsa, I don't even remember the girl's name in the movie. Camille. That's all he cares about. Now, had he had enough of the liquid left over, I'm sure he would have used it on the puppets.
He would definitely use it on Blade and Torch.
I believe he would have done it, but when she spits it out and he goes, not to worry, I have more, but there's only so much. And it's this and Jester is always the face of realization in this movie because he was in the first one. Whenever he gets the worried,
that's
sad
true. That's
face.
a really good point.
Yeah. So Jester is the only one that can show emotion. So they use that puppet to show the feeling of like most of the dolls.
All the puppets. Yeah.
It does really good when Blade even kind of like turns his head and looks at Torch like, what he just say? Yeah. What did he say?
This mother.
Yeah, exactly. This bitch right here say that. But
I don't see him having nice for hands. I'm gonna cut a fool.
Gonna cut a bitch now. But you see that, and then for a moment that you're like, okay, are the puppets gonna like turn, or what are they gonna do? Because immediately in my brain, and it doesn't matter in the movie, but I'd have been like, cool, they just need to go get more brain stuff. Like they still have some time. Jester was sick, but they had time, or even if they quit working, Talon could have gotten more chemical. But I think it's the fact that he was more important and Elsa was more important than all the work that basically the puppets did. The puppets brought him back. The puppets went and got the brain matter. The puppets did everything. And this guy wasn't going to honor their agreement to, continue their life for half a century, 50 years, so I'm not letting that go. That pissed me off that they kept. That was like the 1,000,000 megabytes in class of 1999. That's a terabyte, people. You don't have to make it sound this awesome thing when it's not. It's 50 years. Just let it go. But it was this betrayal, and yes, I love how you see it in the puppets, mannerisms and Jester's face, where this just like, whoa, we've been screwed, we've been had. And then it leads into how they transfer a living person into a puppet. That is a disturbing part of this
drink
movie.
the fluid and then slit your throat over the funnel into the puppet's mouth.
Yes.
And like
Disturbing. It is. Like, I know it's the burnt dude in the makeup, it's Talon doing it, but just that like realization of, because you're thinking like, well, this isn't Chucky, there's no Damballa, we're not going to soul transfer. How does this work? It's literally in the fluid, and you have to mix it with your fluid, then put it into this thing, and you're just like, holy shit. And then the realization that he's about to do it to her, into this other puppet that looks like her, kind of, sort of.
I mean, it has a face. And that's where the similarities kind of end.
It's like when you let your 4-year-old daughter play makeup on you, and you're like, oh, it's fantastic. And then she has the Crayola markers out, and you're like, oh, they're washable. It'll be fine. So
I got to see these pictures, Charlie.
There's no pictures. No, I am smart.
Get a hold of my wife and ask.
I don't leave evidence. But yeah, I really like this ending, and that now we have puppet Talon running around.
It's an ending that I did not expect to happen at all.
No.
Like that's not what the end game goal was. Even then, like he could have just left her as human and then put himself in like and then
I was thinking, how does that work? Like
we'll find a way.
Are there attachments that maybe we didn't see? Are there custom accessories?
Well, there are, certain stores that you can go to, change out parts.
Does he get one with a kung fu grip, or does he give that to her?
Both.
It's prehensile, I'm certain.
But I was thinking the same thing. Like, why does she need to be in the puppet body? Like,
yeah, you got her.
Wouldn't she still try to run away? Like, you're not releasing the essence of Elsa, it's still going to be Camille that goes in the doll,
or it's Carolyn. I effed up. It's not Camille. Camille was the psychic mom. My bad.
So there was a Camille in here. So Carolyn,
there is. Carolyn is
it's fine.
Elsa.
I know who we're talking. The redhead, but it's like she would still try to get away.
Yeah, like it's not like she's like, well, I'm a puppet now. I'm just gonna go with this.
I guess this is my life now.
For half a century, I will be a puppet.
Exactly. It's only a 50-year sentence. That's all, But yeah, I mean, so fine. There we could poke holes in the story all we want. That's not the point of it. The point of it is, he gets his comeuppance because basically he was greedy, put himself before the puppets, and they exact their revenge.
We are here just to see puppets do some cool stuff,
Basically, like this is the one I honestly feel like people watched the first one and went, those puppets are cool as shit. We want more of that.
And
so
if I remember right, the first one was a huge hit on the direct-to-video market.
It was.
And I imagine this one was too. I didn't look it up, but like, I mean, hell, it had to have been to go straight into making part 3, part 4, part 97.
I mean, the guy can do, he did dolls, whenever they did those with the Stuart Gordon stuff. That was all still what turned into Full Moon. That was the Empire Productions, I think it was. But all that turned into Full Moon. So it's always been Charles Band Productions doing these. And so he was on to something with these. And I mean, like I said, they're still going on. We had Puppet Master versus, the demonic toys, which are fantastic movies to watch. They have Doll Man versus the demonic toys. And I know Pete said he watched Doll Man and didn't really care for it, but
I did watch Doll Man versus demonic toys though.
Oh, you did watch it? Okay. Fun.
Does he win?
That was a good time. That was a lot of fun.
But does he win?
Of course, Doll Man wins.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know who actually wins? The audience, because they get to see Doll Man with demonic toys.
Yeah, he wins, and he
that's
gets
who
a
was the real
girl.
winner.
So Doll Man wins for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. He gets a little 6-inch girl, just like he is 6 or whatever.
Right, because otherwise, how would that work?
Right, it wouldn't.
Come here, Toots.
Daryl Hannah tried to make it work with Alec Baldwin in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Yep.
That was weird.
That was awkward. That was very awkward.
Very awkward.
And I have to bring this up because we're talking about that. So we're all watching this movie, and we know what you get normally with these like 80s and 90s horror movies. There's usually some pretty good TNA in movies like this. So we're watching this, and they tease us, and we're like, oh.
Well, they give us a very seductive love scene.
They do, and it's very
sweaty.
Very sweaty.
Like, why did you put that in there?
And this is where I'm going to make things better because I know my wife is listening right now, and it's like, don't worry, honey, it's not what I look forward to in these movies. But there is a point where the girl turns around and we all yell, boobs! All three of us are yelling boobs. And not 10 minutes later in the movie, they are trying to kill new sexy dude after him and Carolyn got down. Torch comes in to set him on fire, sets the bed on fire. We're like, what? Did he just kill the dude?
Yeah, that dude does a tuck and roll, though.
Tucks and rolls.
While he's butt naked.
And all of us, and I swear it was louder than the boobs, went, dude, butt! Yeah. And we are just losing our minds.
We are clearly very mature. Because then, after dude butt, he's like, oh, God, I got to fight more puppets because he goes down the line of fighting puppets.
He does.
He makes sure to put on jeans without underwear on.
But he put that fire out naked. He really did put the fire out naked.
Never done that naked. Don't think
I ever will. There's got to be some Wang outtakes there because he was moving around and that
there's a little bit of cinch going on.
There's no sock. That's all there is.
I wouldn't think so. No.
There was a moment, and honestly, these are the moments. Unfortunately, we don't get because we can't all watch these movies together. But it was these moments in this movie that normally I would be watching this and Jackie would look at me and go, really? And I'm like, I didn't make the movie. Sorry.
I didn't direct it. I didn't write
it's not my movie.
I didn't produce it.
Technically, I'd go, Nate picked this. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You always have the scapegoat like, Nate picked it. Pete picked it.
Nate
I don't pick
Pete
anything on the
I
show.
didn't pick.
I never pick anything with boobs.
But this is the one where we had such an animated response to two nude scenes that were of opposite sexes that I was like, I can't not bring this up because it was so
We're
awesome.
equally fair in nudity around here, all right?
We are about equality. We really are.
Opportunity bum looker, yes.
Yeah, that's it. I hope you said looker, not liquor. All right, boys.
I said looker.
So, I mean, do we get to the point where, we do our stuff?
I say we do our stuff, guys. Let's do our rating bloods. All right, boys. It's a new year, which means new asterisks. All right.
New asterisks. What are you pulling on us? This was not discussed in Parliament.
Parliament. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's a word I heard once, and I felt like maybe it was time to pull it out.
You can't watch BBC all the time, Nate.
All right. Parliament.
So the actual body count in this is 7, but all the videos I watched of this said 9, and I was like, 9? And I have to say that it is 7 humans, and there's not a huge cast in here, but you have to realize there were 3 paranormal researchers that died. The couple, her brother,
yep,
that's 3. Dude's mom, the psychic, dies.
Yep.
The 2 rural couple, the
Yep.
dude and the woman,
And then
die.
the kid.
The kid dies. Yes. What I found out though was people were counting Toulon twice. When he cut his neck.
And then when he dies as a puppet.
And then when he dies as a puppet. And I'm like, no. We don't count. Because he was
Is
already
he
dead.
Or is he dead?
He's dead because they dug him up.
Yeah.
So that's
So
dead.
that's one dead.
And then he cuts his throat. Dead.
Dead.
Then they throw the puppet out the window. Dead.
This is, I think, the second time we've ever had a dead.
Yeah, triple dead.
Yeah.
So
very rare to come by.
So it's 7
really hard to write that part.
humans. You know, because I don't count the puppets or anything. Even though Leech Woman gets it pretty bad.
She gets it awful.
She gets it as bad as the lady does. That's at least it's equal.
They're both equally toasted.
Yeah. So on both sides. So we're good. All right, man. Well, out of all those kills, let's pick which one's our favorite.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
All right, Pete. You get to go first this week.
Okay. I'm going to go with the torching of Sister Bertha Better Than You.
Yes, that's mine.
and if you get that reference, you are an old-timey Dr. Demento fan. Anyway, that was a glorious, my God, torch scene.
Yes.
But both people who get set on fire, exceptional stunt work right there. So
yes,
that was one of the things we had said when we were watching. Like, holy shit! Like, this is really impressive fire stunt work. Like, for the movie's budget, it's just something you don't expect. You know?
Yeah, we were all making the joke like if the special effects guy goes whoops, then it's too big.
Right.
And these were big fires.
They were big fires. Yeah. So I liked her death best. It was not only was it a great scene, but it was also very satisfying because I got no time for people who think they're better than you are like that.
Yeah. I'm with, like I said, I'm with you. My reasons are the same. We get a fantastic person in a flame suit on fire moving around. So it's not like they lit a dummy up.
Corridors that are not very big either.
No, it's supposed to be in
this
cabin.
is a small cabin trailer type thing.
And then after the body's on fire, the camera cuts down to being on the floor right as a torch, crispy body falls down and you see the head. And just the cherry on top is we get to watch Blade, the body's dead, drive his hook into her throat and then start sawing at her face. Because at the time, we don't know about the brain thing. So you're just like, holy shit, they are gruesome and just going all out. Like, that's a puppet double tap right there.
Yeah, you're right.
So I love, and it is probably up to this point the goriest kill in the movies. Talon's death at the end when he slices his throat and then he basically melts a little bit when the body hits the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty gross.
That's a really gross one. But it's a self-inflicted ugh.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Nate, where are you at for
I'm
kill
in
of the
a
week?
weird spot. I do agree. That is probably the best death, but one of my favorite kills, but you don't fully get to see it happen. You get to see the aftermath. Is Blade standing over the body of that gentleman with his throat and mouth all
that
cut
is a
up.
good one.
Oh, that is,
obviously that's something that you can't
dude.
fully get to see them do. I'm guessing due just to how do you pull that off the budget, you know? But just even the look on Blade's face when he turns around, look at my work. I did
hey, look at what I did.
Yeah.
I made this.
I make art. You not like art? Oh, you don't? All right, I'm gonna go attack you now.
Well, that is the cool part of that whole scene is she opens that door and he has sliced dude up. He immediately runs after the girl. She falls and he starts hacking her face.
Yeah,
it's so rapid fire.
And dicing. It's just a great two-parter that happened right there.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like that back-to-back kind of thing.
And
I love it.
It's great because you get what Blade is known for, you know? There's a reason why he's one of the fan favorites, you know?
Sure.
The face of the series.
Basically, they set it up that this one he's one of the first. One puppet we never even talked about was that there was another puppet before all of these guys. There's a Jinn looking puppet.
That's true.
In the flashback.
Look creepy.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah, it was all stop motion, which is really it was very good stop motion.
Very well done.
But I wasn't quite sure what the guy offering that Jinn to Law.
So I don't think he was offering the Jinn to
maybe
Lon.
just the process on how
I think just you can have this as well. This.
Well,
ability.
It was a reveal going, because he goes, what your tricks that you do are no longer effective with the children. Times are changing. And he reveals the djinn, which no strings, he's chained to the table. And I will teach you these tricks as well, this method as well. And so what it's supposed to be is there's no strings attached. There's nothing here that'll make people go, ooh, wow, how is that working? So that was it. But I love the look. Like, I don't think many people even know about that puppet or remember him.
No, I mean, I definitely don't remember him because he's one of the ones that never gets like a toy. Like
Never
even when
gets
they
a
did some of the
toy.
toys back in the 90s, NECA did a recent thing with them. And then even Full Moon Features, like I looked it up while we were watching the movie of like the 1-for-1 scales, and he's not.
They had 1-for-1. One of the toy trailers I thought about playing, but it's like a minute and a half long for the commercial, was like 6-inch reproductions of all of the puppets. Like they had six-shooter, like it was a whole big thing, and it was done by Full Moon did them.
Very cool.
And I didn't, and now like I know they have the 1-to-1, but even Nate and I had looked at the NECA ones, and honestly, if I know it's supposed to be higher price for better quality, I just don't think sometimes NECA does it. I wouldn't feel comfortable opening it.
It's hard to spend $32 on two like 4-inch figures.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, they look great, but also at the same time, it's just like, even after watching the movie, though, I was like, I kind of want to go get these now.
I know, because we know there's a torch, and you're like, I really kind of want a torch.
At the same time, like, if I save up the money, I could get the 1-for-1 scale, and then like I'll put him on the bar, and he'll just hang out with me.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I'll treat him like what I did with my wrestling buddy as a kid. Like I'll put
go
him
to
on
bed
the couch
with him.
With me. Yeah, I'll snuggle Torch to sleep, and we'll rock back and forth. And like when I have a yoo-hoo, he gets a yoo-hoo.
Nate's walking around, dragging him behind him.
Yeah, like he's literally not carrying
my torchy.
I'll get one of those things where people don't want to carry their kids, so they put them in like a kangaroo sack on their chest, and that's where Torch is with me.
Yeah. See, I want to get one, and then I'm going to hook it up to a propane tank, and I'm going to make mine actually work.
That's really neat. I
love that.
I'm going to
idea
make
so
a
much.
montage video, and Queen's You're My Best Friend is playing in the background of all these different clips of us running through the grass field.
I like it. I'm down. All right, boys, let's rate this bad boy.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. Whew.
Well, Pete, what are you giving this bad boy?
This is not a good movie, fellas, but I had a hell of a good time. It's an 8. I love it. This was so much fun, and I got at least a half a star better just because I was with you two. It's not good, but it's a hoot, and it's a recommend. So an 8.
Nice. What about you, Charlie? What are you going with?
I can't say it's not good. There's only small things I would change on. Like again, the story is
silly.
The story isn't great, but it's serviceable for what I'm watching a movie about living puppets. So I will forgive a lot more in a movie like that. But I'm gonna say you nailed it again. I'm right at an 8. This is also probably my favorite. Now I haven't seen probably the last 4 or 5 Puppet Master movies I've seen.
I think they just did a Dr. Death release like a couple weeks ago. It's only like an hour long.
Yeah.
So like it definitely was probably something just tacked on, but like they're clearly still wanting to do stuff. And I know they had that reboot that was written by the guy that did Bone Tomahawk. He didn't direct it.
Yeah.
But like I know that didn't get well response. I haven't watched it yet. And like I want to. I truly do. I just now I kind of got to wait till Hangout number 12 or whatever.
No peeking. But I this, like I said, because I rank this one, I definitely rank this higher than the first one. The first one is what it is, but this is a better movie than the first one. The story is tighter. More is explained. The gore is better. More puppets. More everything I want. This is how sequels should be. This is definitely an 8 on an enjoyment scale. I enjoyed that. I think even though had I watched this without you guys, I probably still would have been an 8, because if I just rate this on enjoyment, the enjoyment of watching this, all 3 of us together, was a 10. Period.
That was our friendship's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blast to just. Oh, you bastard! Pete's still tired.
Yeah, I'm not sure if ours is a 10 though, because of those damn snacks he brought.
That's true, man.
He did bring good beer.
You're a weak man.
He did bring us presents too.
Yeah, he
so we
brought
did get
really good
presents.
beer though.
See,
I don't know what to think about this right now.
I don't know. Well,
You're in a quandary.
so Puppet Master 2 gets an 8 from me. So Nate, what about you, Bubba?
See, I was gonna do 7.5, but then Pete made the comment of hanging out, so it's made it 0.5 higher. So I guess I'm gonna follow suit there. Just be
it's right there,
an
man.
8. Like it is a strong sequel. It does more world building, and it does we looked it up. Like, all right, part 3 is the prequel because we knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that means part 4 is going to be the direct sequel to part 2. Like,
yep.
Yes.
But now it's like
Need
I
a
can't wait to
roadmap.
hang out again to watch part 3. Like I am invested into this world that has been built that I don't remember shit about, other than it scared me a bunch as a kid. You know,
all I remember from 3 is 6-shooter, and then I don't even think I remember 4. I think I remember 5 because we get some kind of demon puppet that is trying to take over the world. There comes a point where the puppets turn into essentially good guys.
I was gonna say at some point they do turn good, I think.
And
I just
then
don't
they
remember when.
Then later with a lot of these reboots, they've shifted back to the evil puppets.
Here's the thing though. When saying they're good, yes, they do murder innocent people, but they are being manipulated. So I don't think they're inherently evil.
That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think any. Well, I
think
not
like
the
Chucky,
original,
who is just a dick.
The original Toulon, I don't think even when the first movie, I don't think he ever. That's why he killed himself before the Nazis got him. He didn't want the puppets used for evil. He hid them away from.
Even
everyone.
with this, it's like clearly him wanting to be for the children, I guess.
But that, and then he was more corrupted because he got his girl back.
There's something we forgot about, though.
What did we forget?
Won't somebody please think of the children?
The children, Nate.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh my God, that's
the
sad.
whole time we kept yelling about it as they kept talking about the children.
They kept yelling.
So clearly, these puppets aren't evil. There, I'm saying it. And you know what? Once again, aside from Bob, I don't advocate children being murdered in movies, real life. The kid did whip Torch.
Justifying that.
The kid was a psychopath in the making.
All I know is maybe Torch knew that was future Hitler and took care of business.
Torch did humanity a favor by getting rid of that kid.
Yeah.
That kid, he's no Bob. He's still pretty bad.
He was bad. It was funny. And it's shocking when that happens. You're not expecting that kid.
No, you don't expect a kid in the movie at all.
And he tries to explain it like, I'm the good guy and I am whipping Nazis and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you're hitting a big Jim with a whip. And I'm like, and you took his shirt off and faced him towards the tree. You've clearly seen shit you shouldn't have.
Yeah, that was the part where it's like, oh, this kid.
This is the scene that should be shared for parents who are like, I don't care how old my kid is. They can watch anything. I'm like, really? Let's watch this scene real quick. That's going to be your kid right there. That's what you're creating right now.
90s were a different time, man.
And he's going to get torched. Right. Well, Nate, apparently we've picked another movie we've all loved and enjoyed and had a blast with. And now we got to hear about someone that utterly hated it. So
nothing but sequels we liked.
That's it. All right. So time for
I'm
the
the
thing.
trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
All right. This comes from Alex R., who claims to be a super reviewer.
Ooh, super reviewer. We haven't had one of those yet.
Right? And this comes from 2011.
The self-proclaimed super reviewer.
I guess so. So they gave this a 0.5 star out of 5.
Ouch.
Yes.
Wow.
They said the follow-up to the first Puppet Master is a big disappointment. After the amusing first entry, Puppet Master is a step down and is definitely not a fun experience. The cast are terrible, and the acting is about the same level as Troll 2. The first Puppet Master was decent, watchable horror film. But Puppet Master 2 is simply a very bad film with bad acting, bad dialogue, and bad directing. The film feels sloppy and doesn't even try to break new ground. This is a poor attempt at a sequel, but it's not surprising considering that the whole series is a straight-to-DVD crap fest, except for the first film. There's nothing entertaining about this film, and you can see it was so cheaply made that it could have been a sci-fi channel movie. This is a poorly constructed film with poor execution. If you like the first film, don't bother with this one. It has nothing good to offer and is a waste of time. The film is terrible and not worth your time. I found myself fast forwarding a few times with this because it wasn't good and the acting was painful to watch, and the so-called story was pretty bad as well. This is a film that feels bad all around. Avoiding this because the series is just bad and the sequels are tiresome, boring, and a mess. The second film fails where the first one succeeded, and that's being a good, so bats good horror flick. I disliked every sequel that came after the original, and I feel that because of that, this is one of the worst horror series ever made. Ooh, that was hard to get through.
Wow. Like, I should
The
stop
review
being
is if I say
surprised.
bad and boring a lot and bad and boring, it'll get my point across.
When was this written?
2011. I hope he went back and revisited. But you know what? If not, I'm glad that he sat through this movie and didn't like it.
Can't stand reviewers in contemporary times shitting on movies from 30 years ago, especially when they're saying, oh, the special effects are terrible. It's 30 years ago, you jackass.
Right, yeah.
Give them a break. And yes, it was a micro budget. I thought the effects
Super
were
micro budget.
glorious for the time and the budget, for heaven's sakes. No,
once again,
this guy's not taking that into consideration. I don't have time for him.
His budget didn't even have $1 million. It was $780,000.
Everything we highlight has almost been what these trash reviews, demean. And Stephen Leo said something pretty poignant the other day on their Jaws the Revenge movie. Because while they both agree it's not a good movie,
it's not.
The people that go, this is a horrible movie, this is quite possibly one of the worst sequels ever made, they said, apparently you've never actually watched a bad movie then. Because if you can't find something to enjoy from this, because they're right, there is some aspects of Jaws of Revenge that are enjoyable and fun. Mostly the stuff that's not part of the shark. It's everything else.
But you mean the shark that decides to hunt down the family for revenge?
Right.
With scars, and I love their picture of it has an eye patch and a switchblade. I love how they paint with words, and I can picture every minute of it. But I really got thinking about that because we do the trash review part where I'm like, yeah, have any of these reviewers ever truly saw a bad movie?
What this person fails to understand is that Puppet Master 2 is the Godfather Part 2 of Puppet Master movies.
It truly is. I hell yeah, that's a perfect analogy right there. I don't know. I will stand on this milk crate, sing the praises of Puppet Master 2.
Make room on that milk crate. I'm there with you.
Yeah, we're all three
2,
there.
Empire Strikes Back, Puppet Master 2. I mean, that's just kind of how you rank them.
That's right, man. It's right there. But
come at me, film buffs.
Yeah, come at me, super critic.
Yeah,
let's go,
super
bro.
reviewer.
Let's go. Let's have a fist of fights of words. I already failed at that fight. That was terrible.
You can keep going with that alliteration. You're pretty.
Yeah,
you had quite a run there.
I was working on it.
He wasn't thinking about the children. That's his problem.
Just think of the children and how much they'll love Puppet Master 2. All right, boys. It's a new year. First horror movie of the new year, man.
Soon. We have our 2nd year anniversary dropping.
Yes.
So start sending us questions now. Like if you got stuff and like, you know what, there's recommendations where you're like, why have they not covered this movie yet? Let us know. Reach out to us on Instagram. Reach out to us on Facebook. Like,
yeah, so
2023, I feel like now we've been doing this for a while. We've obviously the tail end of the year hit a lot of bangers, and like we've already been talking of what 2023 is looking like, and I'm interested. I'm curious, but I also want to know what other people want from the show. Like, what are you wanting out of us, and what are you curious about when it comes to our selections or our thoughts on even like some recent stuff that doesn't cover on the show, but we'll still talk about it. So
so yeah, if anyone's got like any recommendations, like Nate said, what you'd like to see, hell, if there's a bit you don't like and you wish we would stop, tell us so we can do it even harder.
Yeah, we'll bit so hard.
I'll do an entire episode of trash reviews. I don't care.
I will find a novel of trash reviews.
I don't know if I can handle that. No.
I got nothing else going on.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well,
I'm so lonely.
Damn it, Nate. We were doing so good, man. We're so good.
Not in 2023. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not until people tell us what they like.
Until we get feedback.
Why won't you tell me?
We're begging for feedback. Yeah. All right. All right. So as always, you can find us over at Facebook on Give Me Back My Horror Movies and Give Me Back My Action Movies. We have groups over there. We are both on Instagram. And apparently it's been brought to our attention that not everyone understands this, but Nate runs the horror side. I run the action side. So if you're talking to the horror ones, you're talking to Nate. If you're talking on the action ones, you're talking to me. Pete, he just kind of intermingles sometimes, mostly on Facebook.
I dip in, I dip out.
He's like, peace, bitches, and he's gone. But so you'll find us there. We are over on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube. We should have some live streams coming up. Nate and I have been tossing around some ideas that we think might be pretty cool.
No, there's going to be 2 definitely in January. I'm making that happen.
Nate has already decided. Apparently, we're doing 2 in January.
There will be 2. Yep.
Do it.
Be prepared, or hopefully you already checked it out, depending on when this drops. So make sure you check us all out over there, and please go check out everyone part of the Give Me Back My Podcast Network. We have our very own Pete with Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Not every movie's bad, and not every beer is good, but it's a great show. I'm still going to use that tagline. I love it so much. We have the Monster Movie Stomp Down, which also includes Stompy and Frank, which is their other monsters that host their own monster show, which is a lot of fun. We have Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. Jimmy and Jared over there are absolutely killing it right now. Getting fantastic guests. Their What If series is phenomenal. They throw out wild scenarios of what if this guy had turned this way, what could have come from that. And so it's a great listen. Even if you're not really into wrestling, they really dig into the nostalgia. And for most of us, we all know of the Hulk Hogans, the Stings, the Macho Mans, and that's where they pretty much like to live their, put their show at right there. So yeah, please go check out all of those shows and all of our affiliate shows. Too many to list, honestly. But if you follow us on Instagram, you'll figure out who all our other shows that we have a great time spending time with over there. Please go check all those guys out. Rate them all. Rate us on Spotify, Apple.
Please do not
forget
to rate us, because that's the only way that we can grow ourselves.
It helps. It helps the algorithm.
Know. Yeah,
exactly.
It's weird. I don't know. Algorithms are weird. Like
they are weird. They are
Zuckerberg.
Weird.
I saw your Social Network movie and I didn't like it. I want the sequel to Social Network harder, I guess. I don't know.
Isn't that like
I'm
MySpace or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All
right, Nate. I think
Revenge
we're done,
of
man.
Tom.
The Revenge of Tom. You ready to get us out of here, Bubba? What's a good word?
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Boy, he was excited to drop that one.
Now,
Wow.
let's talk about how I get back home.
That, and then he was more corrupted because he got his girl back.
There's something we forgot about, though.
What did we forget?
I already forgot. Give me a sec.
Damn it.
Oh, okay, I got it.
That's a hell of an outtake right there.
See, I forgot about the thing I forgot. But it's...
Oh, God. Okay.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
The children, Nate.
Won't
The
somebody
children.
please think of the children?